We are starting the first diary entry of my NaNoWriMo diaries. We're starting it rocky and on November 3rd. Welcome to the vlog. Hi, hello, my life is a mess right now, but we're fine, we're slimming down, it's all good. I didn't write November 1st or 2nd. It's really not that big of a deal. It's fine. It is what it is. I also want to do these diary entries to try and hold myself more accountable for my writing. I mentioned this in one of my previous videos that the writing has been very sparse. So what I want to use NaNoWriMo for is to hold myself accountable and to get myself back into a flow. For the last couple of months, I think I've only been writing like 2 or 3 days for each of those months, which that's not gonna cut it if I want to finish my story by the end of the year. I only have less than 2 months to finish all of Act 2 and write Act 3. It's definitely doable. I can definitely do it. I am currently sitting at a sneeze. In my story, I am sitting at the beginning of chapter 17, so I'm about halfway through Act 2. I'm still thinking that the story is going to be between, I think, like 35 to 40-ish chapters. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm a little more than halfway chapter-wise, but we are about halfway through Act 2. Right now, my characters got past this speed bump or whatever, but they did lose a character. They got out of this magic swamp that they've been kind of trekking through all of Act 2, because right now they're on the run, and they're still on the run, but now they have come to a village. They are going to have a chance to cope with what all has been happening, because it's been pretty much like go, go, go since the beginning of Act 2. So we'll have a little bit of a breath. We're going to learn a little bit more information about my main character's brother. So in this chapter, while they are at the small village, I hope to do a little bit more world building in the sense of learning a little bit more of the government and how much hold like that government has on its people and how disconnected the people are with each other because of the government. I do want to do a flashback with the brother so we can continue to see the interactions between my main character and her brother, so the audience, so the reader will understand they have a really strong connection, and maybe that connection is what is also bringing my character to her brother. That's what I have to work on for today. It seems like it's gonna be a great chapter. I hope to get a little bit of writing, hopefully try to get into chapter 17, and we will see how that goes. Today is Friday, November 4th, and yesterday was a very productive writing day. I know I wasn't quite sure how much I was going to get done, how much I was going to write. I want to say that I worked through chapter 17. We're still in chapter 17. I had a really fun time writing that chapter. I went back through my outline yesterday. I wanted to see where my pacing was with the story, and I feel like my pacing, it was okay. I feel like my Act 1 is a little too long with the number of chapters that I have, but it's fine for now. You know, it's the first draft of the story, so it'll be okay. I went back over my outline and I feel pretty good about what's happening as I'm writing draft 1 content-wise versus like what my original outline was. I know something that I've been struggling with is having my outline being too vague, and then now I'm in the moment to write that chapter or to write that scene, to write that part of the story, and then I feel a little stuck. I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like I've been able to do really good with doing a little bit of outlining leading up to the chapter and what I want to happen in the story. So then when I sit down, I can really work on it and get a lot done for that scene or that chapter. Things have been doing great. Well, yesterday things were great because that was my first day back to the grind. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I have a live stream tonight at 6 p.m. I have not done any writing today because I did want to save all of the words for tonight. I'm going to finish reading, well, not finish reading, but I am going to read a little bit of my thriller. I think it's a thriller story. It's The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I'm pretty obsessed with that story right now, and I'm like flying through it. It's pretty like quick read. So I'm gonna focus on reading until the stream. Tonight, what I want to focus on with my writing is to finish chapter 17 or get close enough to finishing chapter 17. I think I'll be able to do it, especially if we're going to be doing a good bit of sprints. I think I can really get into it. Tonight, I want to do longer sprints. What I've been doing lately, well, not lately, but the few times that I have been writing recently, and by recently, I mean within the last 2 or 3 months, what I've been doing is setting aside time, like 45 minutes to write, but then if I want to get up and stretch my legs or to do something in between that time, I can. I feel like giving myself more of a loose time frame to write, it's been really beneficial too. That's why I'm hoping maybe we can do longer sprints, just jump right out the gate doing longer sprints, like 30-minute sprints or something. I just finished the live stream. It was so intense. So I didn't end up having any co-hosts join me. And that was like the first time that I have done a live stream in like forever without a co-host. I missed my co-hosts, but we did 3 30-minute sprints and 1 15-minute sprint. We were like pounding out the words. It was super productive. I ended up finishing chapter 17 and I made a lot of progress through chapter 18. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I think I'm at a really good place in the story. It still feels messy, but I'm trusting the process. I'm trying to trust that process. It feels a little rocky, but it's fine. It's all good. Hopefully I'll be able to write a little bit tomorrow so I can pick back up with chapter 18 and hopefully finish that chapter because I really do want to finish this draft by the end of the year. I will check in with you guys later. I wanted to check in with you guys on a non-writing day. You guys are getting partial work autumn. I have like 30 minutes before I have to go to work. So I wanted to talk about how things are going so far. It's 7 days into the month of November / NaNoWriMo. I feel pretty good, even though I've only written 2 days, which it was 2 days last week. So I haven't written anything this week for week 2. And I'm really not that upset about it, usually because the beginning of the week for me is super busy with work and just like how my schedule is. But what I have been doing is on my way to work, I have been listening to my playlist for Project Burning Roses, and I'm liking it. I had gone through a phase where I wasn't so much listening to music on my car rides to work or from work. So I decided to choose one or the other. So like going to work, I'll listen to the music, and then when I drive home, it'll be silence, or vice versa. So what I wrote last week, I feel like I left off at a good spot, and where I want the story to head next time for my next writing session, which hopefully will be in a couple of days. Hopefully I'll be able to write on Wednesday. I'll be able to be pretty productive. That's all I have to say. I look super gross right now, but you know, healthcare work life on night shift, this is what it looks like in its rarest form. So far, I don't feel any speed bumps. I don't feel nervous about any of it. I feel really great going back into this story and wanting to be a lot more consistent with it. I need to finish my coffee because I haven't even taken a sip of it yet, so I can be productive at work. I will check in with you guys later in the week.
You look at me like I'm crazy when I shut my feelings out. You look at me like I'm different, still you stay cause you feel something real. Get so lost in my moments, doesn't mean I don't need you.
It is rainy and gloomy outside today. It's going to be a pretty calm and chill writing day. This is the first chance I'm getting to write this week, and I don't remember what I had set for my goals for this week. I wrote it down somewhere, but for some reason, because my life is so chaotic, I have just simply forgotten where I put that piece of paper. From what I think, what I want to work on, I know I'm on chapter 18, so I think I'm almost finished with that chapter from what I remember. I haven't written since Saturday and it's currently Thursday. I think I have like a little bit left of chapter 18. I took notes on that. That's the goal for today, is to finish chapter 18 and start on chapter 19. I think I'll be able to make some pretty good progress with that today. Since it's gloomy outside, there's nowhere else that I need to be besides going to the gym later. So I'll check in later when I have some progress made. But I know for chapter 18, the last little piece that I want to work on is a part in the story that I didn't originally have. Originally, I had in the story that I only wanted it to be told, even though it's third person POV. I only wanted the story to follow my main character, but as I started to write the story, I realized that one of the other characters, I want us to see his perspective a little bit more than what I wanted originally. I'm playing around right now with the idea of including him a little bit more in the story, and then once I finish this draft and I go back and reread it and I'm starting on the second draft, I'll figure out if I want him to have more of a voice in the story, or if I should just keep it strictly following her. But so far, I'm liking the idea of having his point of view also in here. Not his point of view, like first person, throwing him in here because I feel like it creates a really good dynamic between my main character Norel and then having this character in there. Eventually their going to cross, they're going to meet. So far I've been liking throwing in a little bit of this other character throughout the story, not too much. I feel like it's just enough to get the idea of what's happening. That's what we have to work on. It's going to be an extremely lazy day today, which is nice because that's what I've needed. I'll check in with you guys later. So chapter 18 is finished. Right now I'm going to go back over and see what I want chapter 19 to be about. I did outline a little bit of what I wanted when I had started chapter 18, but I want to go back and add a little bit more so I can start prepping for chapter 19, 20, and then maybe a little bit of chapter 21. I was going back over the big outline for the entire story. I think last week I went through to say how many chapters I think would be left in Act 2 and how many would be left for Act 3. I'm thinking Act 2 has maybe 2 or 3 chapters left. I think I have maybe, because I don't know. I don't think I'm going to have as many chapters as I would have liked to have had. I think I had wanted between 35 and 40 chapters for this first draft, but I don't think we're going to quite get there. I originally did think that the draft was going to be maybe around 80,000 words. I know I can still get a solid 20,000 words. Asking for 30,000 words might be a little bit of a stretch. I think 25 would be okay. It just kind of depends on how it all goes. This writing session went well. I feel really productive and I'm going to keep going. Hopefully I can write for a couple more hours and make some more progress with the story and do some more outlining for the next few chapters to come and then see if I can piece it together. I feel like my main issue with this story, and I feel like I mention this in like every single vlog, is I just feel like my pacing is so off. I just feel like I feel like Act 2 is so weird because there's a lot that has happened in Act 2, but some of it I feel like doesn't really make sense for the story. We've already written it, it's fine, we're past it, we're gonna keep moving forward, but I feel like there's something missing, and I feel like what I have written, I don't think it fits into the story, but it'll be fine. I'm still proud of everything I've written, but I do think that there's a lot that needs to be reworked, and I think I'm missing a major key thing in the overall story. And I think that's going to be something, once I have a complete draft and I can look at it as a whole, I think I'll be able to figure out what I'm missing, maybe give myself some ideas of how to fix it. That's my current thoughts right now. Hopefully we can make some more progress. But yeah, so we're one more chapter down. I don't know how many more left to go. So we're on 18. I would say maybe about 10 chapters left. I haven't written a whole lot of stories from beginning, middle, and end, a lot of novels, so it's hard for me to gauge exactly how much more I have, and that's something that the more I write, the more I understand my writing process and the stories that I write, that will become clearer. That'll be clearer information, so I'm not like too concerned that I don't know that. It is a late start to today. Let me put you down, but it's fine because sometimes we have late mornings. Sometimes it happens. It's fine. It's no big deal. It's been a few days since I've updated the vlog. We're not doing so good on like the vlog front, I don't think, for keeping you updated and like vlogging as much as I would like to, but I am making progress with the story, so that's the most important thing, right? Let's see. So I don't remember the last day that I updated the vlog. However, I had a live stream on the 13th with Sarah, and her and I, we do our like midnight writing sprints once a month, and during that stream I finished one chapter. What chapter? Hang on, I'll get my life together in a minute. Oh good, I didn't write it down. I think I finished. No, I did. I wrote it on the other page. So we did 2 30-minute sprints, but I usually will subtract a little bit of time because I'm not writing for like that full 30 minutes. It doesn't feel right for me to put the full 30 minutes if I'm not writing for the full 30 minutes. I did not. I finished chapter 19 and I started chapter 20. I feel like there's a pattern with how quick I can write a chapter based off of how much I have been tracking my writing because I've been tracking my writing since July. So I've seen a pattern when I do write. It takes me 1 to 2 hours to write one chapter. I don't know if that's normal, but that seems like it's my normal. It's 12:30. I would like to block off time for the next 2 hours to work on writing, but I'm a little behind on some other things that I have to get done today. I was thinking about starting the whole writing thing, doing that now, and then do everything else as the day progresses. I'm gonna get some writing done, check in with you guys later, and we'll go from there. It's a few hours later, and I have finished chapter 20. It's a little bit shorter than I think the chapter before it. The chapter amounts for each of them, like word count wise, has drastically changed from chapter to chapter, but it's fine. It'll be all right. So I finished chapter 20, and I'm at a part in the story where I am now introducing not new characters, but I have had a couple of characters from Act 1 where we have gone like separate ways all through Act 2. So now some of those characters are coming back. I'm excited. I like having those characters where they're not always present on page, and we've already met them in Act 1. So we knew that they were going to be playing some type of role throughout the story. And so now I'm finally to the part where I'm reintroducing that character. I'm happy that I'm here. That tells me that 1, we're making progress with the story, and 2, that I didn't completely write that person out of the story and never go back to them. That is something that I did with the first story that I ever wrote. I had a lot of characters in the first few chapters, and then we ended with like 2. And it wasn't that characters were dying or what have you. It was that I was just writing them out and then writing new characters in. It was just a mess. I'm pleased with that my writing is improving because I'm recirculating back to characters that I've already introduced. Will it stay like that? Who knows? At least we have that little mini win. I did a 40-minute sprint. Now I'm gonna take a break. Hopefully I can at least outline what I want chapter 21 to be. If I don't have time to write today, I'm at least setting myself up for my next writing session. Good morning. It is absolutely freezing in here. It's like 30 something degrees. I don't know, probably like 28. And I'm so cold. I have my heater going. So if you hear a hello humming, that is what it is. That's what you're hearing. It's way too early, but I was too cold. I couldn't go back to sleep. So here we are. I did not end up outlining the next couple of chapters yesterday like I intended to do. I want to, once I wake up, I would like to spend a little bit of time doing that. I would like to do a little bit of writing too. I think I'm gonna have to do all of the writing stuff in the afternoon though, because there's some stuff that I have to get done in kind of like the morning-ish time, or I don't have to get it done in the morning-ish time, but I would like to. So that's what I have happening today. It's just really cold. I am like an ice cube. I'll update you guys later when I have coffee and I finish my bowl of oatmeal and it warms up, or at least I warm up. I wrote a little bit yesterday. I did not give an update and talk about what I worked on yesterday, but today I am working on chapter 23. Yesterday I finished chapter 22, and chapter 23 I made a decision to go ahead and push forward in the story. For a little while there, we were going between like some weird cat and mouse type thing where my character's constantly on the run, and I was just getting kind of bored with that. So that's something when I go back to revise and work on draft 2, I'm going to have to liven it up a little bit and keep it a little more entertaining. We're still in Act 2, but I got them to a good solid place where they're going to be until Act 3. And in the transition from Act 2 to Act 3, I want them to get captured and then be taken to the castle. So I want these people to just be hanging out here until they get captured. This is a good solid place where I need to work on a few things. I need to develop, I say a little bit more of character development, but we should be past that stage already. But it's more of unfinished business between 2 of my characters. I need to revisit that because then once we get to Act 3, it's really going to make a difference. I need to make sure I weave that into this chapter and reveal one more thing about one of the other characters that is going to be important for Act 3. I feel a lot better now that I've crawled out of that hole that I kind of feel like I dug myself into. I outlined the next few chapters. So hopefully this chapter and then maybe chapter 24 will be the end of Act 2, and then starting chapter 25, we're just going to dive straight into Act 3, and hopefully we'll have about 10 to 15,000 more words left of the first draft. I feel like I've been working on this first draft for entirely too long. I'm trying to speed up the process a little bit, tell myself the story. I can go back and fix it all later. I thought I had vlog footage after the 23rd, which was the last clip that you just watched, but apparently I can't find it, so I probably never hit record. That happens more times than not. So I am gonna give you the last final update of this vlog right here, right now, in an odd spot. I did end up writing one more day in November. I wrote on the 26th. I finished chapter 23 and I started chapter 24. And what is amazing about this is I am officially in Act 3 now. I am so happy to be in Act 3 because I felt like I dragged Act 2 out for entirely too long. Act 2 is gonna need a lot of work. It's probably going to need reconstructive surgery, to be totally honest. But we made it through. We made it through Act 1. We can check that off. We made it through Act 2. We can check that off. And now I'm entering Act 3. I think I have about 10,000 words left in this story. I will flash up on the screen my final word count of November. I made some really awesome progress with this story. The first week of November, I ended up passing 50,000 words. Now I am sitting at this word count. Even though I did not do NaNoWriMo the traditional way, I made it a habit of getting back into writing more consistently. That was the big goal. That was what I wanted to use NaNoWriMo for. It helped me realize that when I sit down and I block off the time to write, I can get some really awesome progress done with this project. That is something I feel like I always knew in the back of my mind, but it was nice to have that confirmation with myself. I'm really excited to go into Act 3, and going back to talking about Act 3, I have about 10,000 words-ish left of this project. That's what I'm thinking. I do think I have 3 or 4 chapters left. I think what I want to do for this third act of the story, and this was something that I was starting to do towards the end of Act 2, where I was doing a lot more telling than showing of the story, and I think that's what I want to do for the rest of this draft and for all of Act 3. So I don't think the story on the second half, the final stretch, it's going to be as in depth, because I do think there's so much that has changed in the story. The ending is still going to be the same, but getting to the ending is not how I expected it to go. That's not how I thought I was going to get to the ending. I need to tie up a lot of those loose ends, a lot of those strings, and then we'll be done. And I will have my second completed first draft of a novel. I'm doing something that I didn't think I would ever do. Didn't think I would ever finish a project, let alone finish 2 projects. So it's been a really rewarding experience. Now, I do want to talk about, just briefly, the whole month, what my takeaway of the entire month of November was. So even though I didn't participate in NaNoWriMo the traditional way, I used the month of November to get back on track with my writing. I would say that it was a win. It was definitely something that I needed, and I am really glad that I did it. It also taught me that how I'm sprinting and how I'm doing my writing sessions, that as I'm growing and I'm becoming a stronger writer, I can write for longer periods of time. And I love that I have created that discipline for myself, and I hope that it will carry through the rest of the year, because I still want to finish this first draft by the end of 2022. Hopefully I can still have that momentum going into December. That's what I'm sitting at. Those are my honest thoughts. That's gonna be it for this video. I want to thank you so much for watching it and hanging out with me. I know we're a little late with the vlog going out, but I hope you did well for NaNoWriMo. If you have plans to write for the rest of the year, best of luck. And if you're taking the month off, enjoy everything. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed to my channel and you want to be part of my writing journey, go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button and the little notification bell next to it so you don't miss another time that I upload. Again, I am Autumn Ashley, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.